back, ladies and gentlemen, to WGLNA Qualifiers for Season 3. My name is Andre Greater Pengshow. Joined alongside me is Randall Rootkill Holcomb. We already had our first match, Bomb Squad, taking out Penguin Mafia by a score of 3-2. Some really incredible games there. But now we move over to our second match of the night. It is Victoria's Secret versus Ride the Lightning. We want to remind you guys, they are fighting for the last spot in Gold League. Now, how it works out, we have 16 teams, 15 already filled out, okay? So whoever wins this last tournament, there's only one spot left to take it and move into, well, the competition for $100,000. $100,000.
Oh, yeah. It was really well played by the Googly Bobbers in our last qualifier. They are going to be that 15th team to join us. So if you missed any of that, you can check out the VODs here on Twitch at WGLNA.com. And we will be putting them up on YouTube as well. So if in case you missed anything, don't fear. We will always have something you can watch. And there were some fantastic matches. I loved watching, for example, last week's C'est La Vie versus the Googly Bobbers. Really good match. C'est La Vie is going to rejoin us for this qualifier.
I loved watching Googly Boppers versus Victoria's Secret. That was a great series as well. And it just so happens that Victoria's Secret will be competing over here for our next match. They're playing against Ride the Lightning. I don't know anything about Ride the Lightning.
I don't know either. Actually, I do have access to a roster, so I kind of want to just go over and maybe take a look and see if I recognize any names.
We got Kapowser, Drunken War, Diddles, Laser Pew Pew, Wraith CAS, and Marksman 12. Mortals. Mortals. From the team Tesla. Have you heard them?
Tesla's kind of a tag I kind of see around in pub matches, but I don't really... That doesn't ring any bells here.
Well, it rings a lot of bells for me.
Does it?
Yeah. They make great cars.
That's it?
Mm-hmm. And they... Tesla also invented a cloning machine.
Tesla actually invented a cloning machine.
A cloning machine.
The company Tesla, or?
And I know the way that Hugh Jackman is still alive is because he's cloning himself constantly.
Is that really it?
And he kills himself for the prestige.
Does he like upload his brain into his clone?
Do you not know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's this movie called The Prestige, where Tesla is involved with Hugh Jackman. It's a great movie. You should watch it.
You're really throwing out some obscure stuff for me today.
The Prestige.
I haven't seen it. When did it come out?
You should watch it. 2000s. I don't know when. 2000s. Great movie, though. I highly recommend it. You guys should watch it. Prestige.
I'll have to go look for it tonight.
But yeah, that's how I know Tesla. Their cars. Obviously, he was a genius. Way before. What is the phrase when you're... way before your time?
Yeah.
It sounded weird. I didn't know if it was that.
It's like one of those things only like really old people say.
He was though, man. Like what a brilliant genius.
Yeah. Although he was also kind of crazy a little bit, or because he was a genius. I mean, he was.
Well, I mean, you have to be a little bit crazy to be genius.
This is true,
right?
Hmm.
You have to be a little bit genius to be great. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Doesn't work the other way?
Nope, doesn't work the other way. I've been trying it, guys. It doesn't work. Anyway, we're going to get into this battle. It's going to be on Ensk for our first match. I really think that Victoria's Secret obviously are the big favorites, as they were one of the finalists for just this last qualifier. On top of that, we've seen them in separate qualifiers for Season 2. They performed pretty well, not as well as I thought they should. But now over here, I mean, they're really getting things together and looking really fine.
Yeah, they did rebuild that team. And actually, the battle is about to start.
All right, well, let's get into it, guys. Battle number 1 in this best of 5.
Taking a look at these tanks, 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a Pershing for the side of Ride the Lightning. On the other side, Victoria's Secret with a 5100, 3 IS-3s, and a Pershing.
Whoa. Why Pershing? I mean, if you ask Mornblade, he says, why not Pershing?
Exactly.
You silly goose.
They're going to hit up that 5-6 line, of course. And from there, probably spot out each other and then try and get a little early damage. I mean, you've played it in pub matches. I know you really loved it. You realize people never play it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So, I think that Mornblade is an exceptional player. I really do. I think he plays this map really, really well, and he's able to dominate the 5-6 line, but I really feel overall that the Pershing is the wrong tank for this map. I understand its strengths, its weaknesses. The 400-meter view range is perfect. Even a 1390, I think, performs better than the Pershing just for that burst damage. That's what it really lacks in. It can get out that consistent fire, but I really feel like the consistent fire is being done already by your IS-3s, and if you're trying to track down your opponents with a Pershing rather than your IS-3s who should be up in front, then you're doing it wrong. What the Pershing needs to do is get in there, do its damage, as much damage as possible to make that impact, and it just doesn't have the capabilities.
Well, remember, the Pershing brings hit points for a medium tank. It's got 1440 hit points, and the 1390 has 1100. That little extra hit you can take is huge.
That's true, but the Pershing should be the last tank that dies along with the 1390. I don't think they should be one of the brawlers in the beginning stages.
Well, ideally, but you can't plan for that situation, especially when your opponent recognizes you should plan, but you can't always expect that to go your way.
I agree. I agree. And you make a very valid point.
You should plan for your Pershing to get focused, because your opponent's going to recognize it's the weakest tank. We can alpha that down with 4 solid shots. Now it looks like some dude is going to peek up, and Mortals is maybe going to... oh, wow, he won't get the first shot. Some dude will. I was fully expecting Mortals to be able to get that shot. He had the advantage of spotting and having his turret on target first.
Super sick shot, too. I can't believe he actually made that. That was a pretty bad angle for him to be doing that, but he still managed that. That's okay, though. I mean, now he's down to 1193. It is unfortunate, but
Mortals really flinched, I think, when he saw some dude. He saw the Pershing and said, I'm spotted. I need to engage this guy, but I also need to get safe. And he just booked it to the side instead of zeroing on the target, getting the first shot, then getting it to cover.
Would you ever just right-click and then just fire?
I unbind auto aim.
Would you ever say people should do that? Because if you're so focused on driving...
At the highest level, no. You should be, at the highest level, you should be able to drive and shoot. I used to do that early in the game. I used to auto when I was scouting and just randomly shoot. But I got away from that when I felt I could aim better than auto aim.
Gotcha. We'll find out if any of these teams can really make anything of the position, the current position, as it stands. Red Lightning are kind of pinned right now. I mean, they can't really move any forward because the Pershing was kind of neutered in the center, and since both teams have the same tank, I mean, it's really hard to discriminate an advantage there. Even though there is an advantage, I should say, for Victoria's Secrets, that kind of gets nullified. But still, at the same time, it's hard to push forward. You don't know where the rest of the tanks are. You don't know if there's been circulation. You don't know if there's cross shots on the approach. So that's why both these teams are playing very defensive.
Yeah, some dude is out of that 5-6 line. He's not going to want to trade anymore. He has the advantage. He's really won the fight as of right now. If he pulls out, they're in the positive, and some dude's actually shifted over, maybe to try and get an alternate angle.
Do not agree with that.
You don't agree with him pulling out?
I do not agree with him pulling out.
But he,
there's no reason to. I mean, that 5-6 line will always give you an extra lane of crossfire.
Oh, Diddles gets hit by 9 as he moves up, but he will trade it back, taking a little bit more damage off of 9 than Diddles. Diddles at 1157, 9 at 1138. Not much, but a little higher RNG in favor of Diddles.
Unfortunate for him. Yeah. It looks like Edbot is spotted out. He's just around the corner, as they can see on the 4 line. But now, an IS-3 and a 5100 are going to poke around. Diddles taking a lot of damage. First shot was missed, but the rest of them are connecting very easily. 457, 188 hit points left. Will there be a last shot?
M-Pro blocks MFX as he tries to back off, keeping him from getting that final killing blow. Now it looks like Marksman in the 5100 might come in, as MFX should be reloading, and M-Pro might get focused down. Yes, he will, down to 776. One more shot down to 479. He does return fire onto Marksman, but he won't get to return any more as he is about to go down. Marksman actually kills a T1 instead before killing the IS-3.
Yep, and now MFX takes a big shot, 159 hit points, but Mortals is going to town against that other Pershing, although getting great shots on Edbot now. Edbot down to 584 hit points, as there is continuous trades with just small pokeouts. IS-3s and 5100s are trying to go to town at this this C3 area, but I really feel like that's not the best place to be poking out. Now the Pershing's going to town on each other. Some dude, though, has the big HP advantage.
Yeah, and he does get the second shot off. Mortals will have a slight advantage in the fact that he will be able to get a little bit more damage off than some dude will before he dies. And actually might make it so some dude is down. Oh, down to 6 hit points.
Sick.
Mortals can probably not bring this back, but the face hug. Oh,
face
some
hug?
dude stops. He doesn't go for the ram.
That's okay.
Oh,
That's okay.
But the amount of health that Mortals just lost, he paid for it. Some dude is down to 150.
Yeah.
And now he's an easy one shot, actually a ram for an IS-3.
Find out if that happened. Shots are coming out here. Right now, there is that tier 8 advantage out for the side of Victoria's Secret, but their health is just dwindling at this point. Although Alpha can change a lot, and especially with IS-3s, 2 of them and a 5100, there's a lot of bad things that can happen if the blue team, that is Ride the Lightning, is a little bit too hasty. Edbot poking out, gets denied 9 down to 128 hit points, and again, they are losing, rather hemorrhaging hit points here.
Just not very good. 9 was unable to make a crucial connection on a Kapowser. Some dude might go down, but no, he's barely able to slip past. Looks like Edbot is going to be ready for a flank shot, as it looks like Wraithcast is going to try and distract him. Edbot actually misses a shot onto that T1. Kapowser's took a hit, and actually there goes some dude. T1 advantage certainly going in favor of Ride the Lightning. I feel like it's cleanup time for them.
Yes, it is. 9 and Edbot are the last 2 tanks alive, although they need to be careful. Kapowser very low, 31 hit points. 9 will go down. Nicely done. And meanwhile, the red base is under attack. I'm really impressed. Edbot now going to be the last tank alive. He's just 1 shot away from dying. Kapowser going to rotate around. Will he get the shot on Edbot? It actually misses here. So Edbot going to continue pushing forward.
But a crack shot by Marksman 12 will finish off Edbot. Beautifully played. GG.
Ride the Lightning. They're riding it hard, man. They looked really, really good there. I'm very impressed with the position I thought was looking pretty bad. I mean, they were going down lines where I felt it was a little bit too risky. They're poking out with IS-3s, and it actually kind of messes up their Shuka a lot. I mean, there's a straight 90-degree angle that you can take, and a lot of the times those IS-3s do not perform well with corner games like that. Additionally, that Pershing took a lot of damage in the beginning stages, and we had one of the IS-3s also taking a lot of damage. So everything didn't look good for Ride the Lightning, but somehow they got it together. They were able, I think, the most important thing is to own that one line. Somehow or another, the 5100 M Pro really misplayed that, and him getting so low and eventually dying really hurt them at the end. There was a nice flank over on the west side that they absolutely could not deal with, and it was done, I would even say 1v2.
Yeah, I think Marksman 12 came in at a very crucial time. He waited until, well, I don't know if he was waiting, but he came into the fight at a point where a 5100 was reloading and an IS-3 was looking a different direction. Yeah. So he got to finish off an IS-3 without a whole lot of retaliation, a little bit. 1 shot from an IS-3 and even got a T1. So he really got 2 kills in that engagement, which gave his team a T1
Check it out.
advantage.
Check it out right now. Marksman 12. I mean, he was balling. 2,079 hit points. Along with Michelangelo, 2,048 damage done. That's more. If you combine them, you can look at that as, almost 3 tier 8 tanks. If we look at MFX, he's the only one to do equal damage, 2,234 with 7 shots penetrating. But still, him going down so early on. Well, he didn't go down early on, but he went down pretty fast there. That's what really did it for them. But now we move over to Himmelsdorf. Again, a very similar map to Ensk in that it's urban, it's going to be in your face, brawling, but it's a little bit more open than Ensk. We'll find out if these teams can make it happen. Let's get into battle.
Taking a look at these tanks, 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a Pershing for the side of Ride the Lightning. On the other side, Victoria's Secret will bring 2 5100s and 3 IS-3s.
I like that a lot better. I mean, the 3 IS-3s just have that better alpha. We talk about it all the time. The Pershing will give a lot better view range, but you can kind of get rid of that by playing aggressive. If you're the ones to go down Tank Alley, if you're the ones to go down the west side or hill play, you basically say, hey Pershing, we don't care about your view range. You won't ever be able to utilize that kiting advantage that you have, because we're just going to be able to surprise you at 200 meters or 100 meters. And from there, you're not going to be able to do much. An IS-3 against a Pershing, a very easy battle for the IS-3.
And you've called it. 9, Subdued and Edbot are going to cross the open field. T1 going out to the west and 1 to the east. Got a little bit of a standoff into the east there with Disruption and Wraithcast, but these IS-3s have already gotten across. No one has spotted them. Where is Ride the Lightning?
They're all the way in the northwest, and there is a T1, Wraithcast, all the way in Tank Alley, looking down that line, but not seeing anything but a T1. As it stands, big disadvantage so far for Ride the Lightning. I mean, they are very, very hold down. Pershing over here in a great hold down position. I have to say, if you want to control this west side, you've done it. Mortals has done a fantastic job. But what does that accomplish you? You have to be a little bit more assertive on Himmelsdorf, especially with the changing meta. I mean, we've seen a very, very different aggressive stance by a lot of these teams by just simply taking the center or gunning down the west side. I mean, teams have really adjusted and said being aggressive is a lot better than being super passive, because being super passive, we have no win condition. Being aggressive, we take 75% of the map and we're able to just make incredible plays off of that.
Yeah, just setting the tempo is huge for any team because you get that kind of control. And now it looks like MFX is spotted, so Diddles will come in. He will trade with Edbot, and wow, he's already getting focused down to, oh, he was getting nuked, 189. Marksman tries to block, and he will absorb 1 shell and may take down Edbot, actually. Yes, he will take down Edbot, a T8 advantage going to Ride the Lightning, but it's returned as Diddles is taken down.
Yeah, Marksman did catch on fire for a little bit. Automatic fire extinguisher will take that out. 9 lining up the shot. No, he's just going to back up. He does not want to take any more damage. Some dude in the middle of the map. 9 getting shot out by Michelangelo across the dune or whatever.
Yeah, through the keyhole.
Through the keyhole, yeah. And some dude's going to come up through the dune and now put shots on Michelangelo. Nice shot, 409 hit points. And now T1 doing damage against Marksman. Some great play, 101 hit points left. And M-Pro getting the flank. Mortals is there, though, so he needs to be careful. He's going to try to zone out this shot. Marksman, he's going to go down, though, pretty soon here as he is sticking out. No, he's not.
M-Pro just trying to save his hit points. It looks like 9's actually going to go for the kill. And yes, no, he's not going to. Why isn't anyone shooting Marksman right now?
They don't want to. I mean, 9
they just don't feel like it. There, M-Pro gets the shot.
And this is just so good. Some dude taking a big shot. 64 hit points left, though. And he's going to go into Super Saiyan. No, he's going to go into dead mode. MFX is across the way, though, as well. And they're going to try to isolate Mortals. Kapausers and Michelangelo are just pinned right now. 9 is doing a great job over here. Of course, that one IS-3, well, down goes to 5100. But that one IS-3 is so scared because one big high roll can kill him. So he didn't want to take any more damage. That's why he felt pinned. But that was a great cleanup, a great assertion on the map. And that's why you have Victoria's Secret taking a commanding win in game number 2.
Just very well played by them. And getting caught out on that 3 line. Another team gets caught out on the 3 line. And I feel like every time we see a fight where one team is on the 3 line and the other team is anywhere else, it just does not go that way. You're out in the open, no good cover. Victoria's Secret will take it.
And great stuff overall. I mean, I have to say, Victoria's Secret, I mean, they earned it. That is, I do want to say, that is a risky play, if you want to call it that. It's a coin flippy play. I wouldn't even say that. A rock, paper, scissors play.
There you go.
Because you got a center push, a west push, and an east push. And all of them like beat each other just like rock, paper, scissors. Everything has a strength, everything has a weakness. And in this case, it works out that the center play really messes up some defensive northwest play. We saw it just play out. And as we were talking about, we look at the advantages, we look at the disadvantages. The difference in lineups is the IS-3 over the Pershing. The Pershing, the real advantage on Himmelsdorf is going to be that view range. How do we approach and cut off the view range of our opponents? First, we have to look at where Pershings are strong and kind of make a guess on where we think our opponents are going to be. And based on that, we say, okay, what is going to be the way we actually take map control and stop that 400-meter view range? And I think they did it perfectly. Because as soon as you bring that Pershing out, you're saying, I want to play it a little bit slower because kiting is my friend.
Yeah, and in range, using the hold down. You talked about that when he was in the train station. The Pershing was in a beautiful hold down. Yeah. It's just when he got in the open, he became just like any other tank. He just had a 90 mil, which is fine for DPM, but really just didn't do anything special for his team.
That's right. And where can you really go from there? Because you're doing that 90 mil against an IS-3, a 122. And 122 greater than 90, that's all you have to really look at. You're going to be doing more damage with that IS-3. It's similar. No, it's not similar.
You're not going to be able to look at DPM in these fights. It's going to be
Correct.
all about the alpha with the corner games.
It's all about the alpha, all about removing DPM, I should say. Killing your opponent's tanks. Because if you're killing your tanks, DPM doesn't matter because you're not alive to shoot. So, I mean, an IS-3 performs so much better in all those cases. If we even, let's take a look and just look at how they were able, just by strategy, how they were able to kind of negate that Pershing. And we look at the Pershing right now, it only did 726 damage.
Didn't get to use its DPM, didn't get to put out the numerous shots in a row, which is what you have to do when you're in a Pershing. You have to get out multiple shots. You have to be able to rain down that fire. IS-3s, they get to play corner games. They get to peek out, do that alpha, back off. And they take that advantage in those kinds of situations. At 5100s, kind of defeat the DPM of a lot of other tanks because they have burst. So what happens is you punish opponents for going out in the open like a Pershing.
Would you say the Pershing should always go out into the center first? And then if they want to play defensive, you go to the southwest, and you still have that ability to stay in the center, look at everything, and then get cross shots via the center if there's any west side pushes rather than just being in a hold down position?
Maybe. That does sound like a pretty decent idea. That's similar to the Wreak Havoc approach to the map where you stick a tank ready to spot the center and kind of punish anyone for going across. That would be a stronger approach to the map. And you can also then be prepared for that center push so you can react and use your Pershing as bait.
I mean, not saying the way they used their Pershing was terrible. I mean, it still defends and wins against a lot of west side pushes. It just, I guess this strategy that I was talking about encompasses a wider range of potential openings that are to come. But as it stands, that will tie up the series. They're 1-1 each. Let's move over to Prokhorovka for our battle number 3.
Taking a look at these tanks, T-32 Pershing and 3 1390s for the side of Ride the Lightning. On the other side for Victoria's Secret, 5100, 2 T-32s and 2 1390s. Mobility really going in the favor here of Ride the Lightning, but you've got that 5100, and I know you don't agree with that, Andre.
I do not. And they do tend to like this. I just have trouble finding a reliable way to put it where it can do its damage that it needs to do. I mean, when you bring it to a map like Prokhorovka and it's so light, you do have a position where, oh,
looks like we might have to disconnect. Yeah, it looks like it's MFX. He didn't even move at the beginning. So that 5100 may have disconnected.
Or it may have been a mistake. Very easily could have.
He could have been disconnected since the last battle through the whole countdown.
That's right.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, the 5100, kind of oddly placed in my opinion. I mean, where do you put it to have those consistent shots? And I always go back to the amount of shots you need to make it pay for itself. With a light lineup where there's so many 1390s, even T69s, Pershings, etc., I would say 4 shots is all you need. 4 times 300, it's going to be around 1200 damage each time. So 4 out of your 6 shots, that's all you need to make your tank worth it. But even 4 shots is going to be very difficult on a map like Prokhorovka. You don't have the depression. You don't have the ability to get your shots on consistently, and that's, I guess, the biggest problem for me.
Yeah, 5100s just don't perform on any kind of uneven ground. They're great on Himmelsdorf. They're great on Ensk. They're great on Ruinberg sometimes, but it's a half and half map. So it just Prokhorovka you can't. And in a fight, when you actually get in close, you're probably going to get alpha down.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
you're
right.
just going to get focused. 1390s though are a better choice. They're just a better choice. They have mobility, view range, camo, and they have a similar burst.
And 5100s can never run away, that's for sure.
Not on Prokhorovka.
Not on Prokhorovka. So anyway, guys, we are in the midst of a disconnection. It has been confirmed. So we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, the continuation of the series, we're just going to figure out the problems and make sure everything's good to go. Don't go anywhere. You're watching WGLNA Qualifiers for Season 3.
I'm Randall Rookhill Holcomb, and this is Ruse Clues.
Ruse Clues!
Let's take a look back to Season 1 of the WGLNA, Cazadores versus River of Blood on Himmelsdorf.
Good idea!
And I'm wondering how they're going to be able to exploit this and take advantage of their position. A striker from River of Blood in the AMX 5100 took a superior position to counter the previously unassailable Cazadores.
Yay!
Shot against Logos, another one against Logos.
From here, Striker has nearly perfect shots on exposed members of Cazadores. They're caught completely off guard, and Striker is able to damage them for free. Returning fire is nearly impossible as the collapsed building absorbs any shells from enemy IS-3s only 100 meters away.
Good idea.
That's how it goes in World of Tanks. It is a strategy of choosing, and Striker's chosen a very good place.
From here, River of Blood leverages their health point advantage to push for victory on Himmelsdorf in convincing fashion.
They are going to get surrounded here in a double pincer attack from River of Blood. Unit 2 still left alive. Striker just going to crash right into him. Goodbye.
Be on the lookout for exploitable openings and tactical terrain on all maps so you too can be pro like Striker.
Blues Clues.
And we are back. Welcome back, guys, to WGLNA Season 3 qualifiers. We got the issues figured out. We are going to be jumping into game in about 30 seconds. It looks like there was a disconnection. MFX, I think, still hasn't come back, so he was dropped down. He's going to be replaced really quickly. We are getting into battle. It was going to be that 5100, though, so interesting choice here. Again, not to belabor the point, but I really feel like the 5100 has a tough time on this map. It has an identity problem. What do you do with the 5100? You have 6 shots. That's it. That's it. You don't have any more, because if you run out, you're going to be chased down pretty quickly. I mean, depending on cases. Let's go into the game and we'll talk about the lineups yet again.
Same lineup as last time. T32 Pershing, 3 1390s for the side of Ride the Lightning. On Victoria's Secret, we've got a 5100, 2 T32s, and 2 1390s.
Some dude in M Pro going to be sporting those 1390s. Let's take a look at the opening scout runs. Kapausers sporting 1390 alongside with Marksman 12. Going to be just gunning down these ridges.
Yeah, this is one of the best ways to approach. You don't have to climb that hill right at the end, lose all your speed, make yourself an easier target. Some dude will be taking
Whoa.
huge. That's a very aggressive scout run from Kapausers.
Yeah, it is.
One shot does go out, but does not connect. Could have very well connected, and we could have seen a health advantage, but sometimes you just can't make those shots.
Yeah.
But
Just,
he's spotted so much. He's got a lot of information out of it.
Rolling the dice. Root kill. We got to take Kapausers to Vegas. That's what we need to do.
He looks like he is pretty lucky.
He's got the luck. He's got Lady Luck on his side, man. I think he would do great in the cramps tables. It's right, Kapausers. I'm talking to you. I'll see you in Vegas.
Well, they'll have to make it through the qualifier first, Andre.
They will.
You believe so?
I'm just like Clutch. I'm in the belief business.
Well, Mortals shouldn't be in the belief business because he's down in the T1.
Well, of course. He's just mortal.
I see.
Okay. Sorry, guys. It is tied up 1-1, guys, just to let you know. So we're down to just about a best of 3. So far, the lineup, or the setup, I should say, for the blue team, north side, is going to be mainly in the center. 1390s not really exercising too far away from the 2 T32s, or excuse me, the T32 and the Pershing, while another 1390 sitting in the back. We've seen this position being taken by a T69. I'm not thrilled with this position. Completely defensive, in my opinion. And it does punish some positions where, 1390s are going to be snuck into the west side. But I just don't like it because you need to spring into battle. As a 1390, as a T69, you need your HP to be shared there because a single T32 and a single Pershing will get outgunned very quickly to 2 T32s. Palmia, though, taking a lot of damage. AMX 5100 all the way on the side. He's going to go dark.
He had to go all the way on the top of the hill, completely exposing himself in order to get any kind of shots. I saw him struggling to try and get gun depression in order to try and fire on this Pershing and T30. It would be wonderful if he had shots, but I'm not seeing him able to get any shots on target. He does look like he's finally going to be able to line up a shot and maybe fire on Diddles in the Pershing. I'm not confident in that because I think it's a heavy tank. He doesn't have the camo, and that's how easily he got spotted out. Although shots do go out on a 1390. Wow.
Yep. Drunken Warlord will take more shots. He's down and burning right now.
No fire extinguisher.
Oh, Drunken, no. No, he's still burning. 13, 10, 8, 5. Okay. He's stabilized.
Oh, but his ammo rack.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Everything's damaged.
No bueno. Things are really tough now. Wraithcast is taking a lot of damage. Palmia over there in this 5100 is going to be spotted out here. But he goes dark yet again. So he's doing a good job, but it's still hard. I mean, you're looking at, how many shots do you really have left before you need to kind of put that punch in I'm just not sure if I love the 5100 still. I'm gonna keep going on with this, even if they do win. I don't think it's theoretically correct.
He's taking damage. He's getting spotted very easily, just repeatedly, and he's not able to put as much shots on target. I don't think he was able to actually help out damaging. That was some dude at 1390, right?
No, it's Drunken Warlord.
Because from this side, we actually don't see that damage. They don't know that he's taking quite that much damage. He appeared to be decently healthy when he went dark.
Okay, well,
So he burned down completely.
TT 123. Holy moly, Drunken Warlord. You are lucky because there was a track shot even before that. But anyway, Diddles is over here, and he's going to circle around with two 1390s, really exercising themselves. Empro is potentially going to be caught out here as the 1390s are going to approach up. And Empro, nope, T32s are having that in lockdown. Some dude's going to be there right around the corner.
Yeah, those 1390s barely able to get away. We could have seen a very interesting engagement with a Pershing advantage, and it looks like actually T32s seeing this are going to be able to push forward, taking the position. They have the ball. Empro and some dude are going to join them, and I'm expecting to see a one-line push coming up. And yes, some dude and Empro are going to go up and over. Some dude down to 235 already in the fight. Shots going out all over the place. Not enough connections. Wraith is down to 64, and now the 1390s have come to help out.
Nice.
First tank down is some dude.
Yes, and Empro is going to get the back of this T32. One more shot and down he goes, but Marksman right around the corner. Although Marksman taking a little bit of damage here. He needs to actually turn around as Diddles is going to be flanked over here by Empro. Diddles not in a great position as he is going to town against this T32 immediately on the backside, but Empro is going to be gunned down, backed up by his ally. And oh my god, no, Empro died in the worst possible situation, giving a hold down position for this Pershing.
Tano Skywalker is too good of a marksman, and he will just contradict you with expertise. T32s now have shots on marksman. One connection onto him. Another one from Edbot will take him down to 211. Just, I'm amazed they actually came out of that fight. At the beginning, it looked so much like Ride the Lightning was going to be able to shut that down. But 1390s are the only tanks left, and they don't have enough hit points, and they're all on reload.
Yeah. I mean, what it comes down to is that 1390 being taken down so low. That is Drunken Warlord that I'm talking about. Losing so many hit points over on the one side. I honestly didn't get to see how Palmia died over with his 5100.
He went up on the hill next to T32s, had to expose himself completely. No hold down. Just entire tank out there in order to get shots.
Yeah, and even a T69 would have been a much better tank for that position, in my opinion. I gotta stop ragging on this 5100.
No, we can talk about that. It's the fact that the tank doesn't perform. It's a sub, like the WZ-132, just a subpar tank for this kind of map, especially with this playstyle.
But still, Victoria's Secret will take the win, and we're going to find out in detailed reports how everything went down. So look at those T-32s, beautiful tanks, 2,585 hit points and 1885. So really well played by Tano Skywalker and Edbot. We've seen these two players before just be the most excellent battle buddies and also the most excellent tankers over for the 5100. 3 shots connect. So I wouldn't say that that 5100, well, it's hard to tell because that 5100 is such a big priority, right? On the top of that hill, everybody's like, oh, I got to check that 5100. I have to check that 5100. Make sure he's not getting the shots on because they are a little bit scared. So that could be, I guess, the factor that really comes into their minds where it's just that thing that you have to be careful of, just like the Waffle Tiger.
Yeah.
But the question is, can you do the damage or can you make it back? And I guess you can make some cases that the 5100 empowered the T-32s to stay alive and do that much damage.
But I think the T-32s were going to be fine regardless of the 5100. They had hold down, they had the forward position, they had backup with them. Any other tank would have been more effective, I think, in that position. A Pershing would have been more effective. A T-69, definitely more effective. I think he could have gotten at least the 4 shots he needed out onto the soft tanks in front of him, and then even been able to back off and reload a whole 20 seconds. That fight was pretty well drawn out.
And I like the fact that as soon as they saw their Wraith cast his battle buddy Gon, Diddles, and his Pershing all the way over on the east side of the west, with 2 1390s, they said, hey, there's no battle buddy for that T-32. Let's push on him. Why? Because they can't share hit points. They can't maximize the damage. As soon as that T-32 is gunned down or at least isolated, it's just a domino effect. Everybody gets taken out one after another after another. And then they see, of course, that Drunken Warlord is only at 100 hit points.
Easy.
1 shot away. They're like, oh, Beautiful. Steps will be our next map, though, in battle number 4. Right now, 2-1 advantage for Victoria's Secret. Let's find out if they can close it out or we'll have a comeback.
Hearing in TeamSpeak right now as Wraith is going, oh god, I'm being shot. I'm being shot. And everyone's like, oh god, Wraith, get to cover. I can't. Oh god, we're going to lose Wraith. And now Wraith is dead. And now they say they need to attack because they've just realized that people must be reloading after that.
All right, yeah, well, clearly. And there's only that single Pershing that puts out that. Oh no, there's the T-32, of course. Puts out more consistent fire. Shots will ring out. Will they be true? We will find out for you.
In that whole time when the T-32 was going down, Palmia was reloaded. That 5100 is finally getting a chance to put out all the damage it needs to because these guys are walking right into his gut. Now the Pershing is stopped. Diddles is going to try to put shots out on some dude. Will connect, but Palmia is going to come and just completely destroy this Pershing.
Yes, he is. Diddles down to 76 hit points, and down he will go. Giving chase over here on the side. Kapowser and Marksman, the only 2 tier 8 tanks left. 41 seconds, though. That's the big problem. Kapowser is going to be cut off. Some dude, though, not paying attention. Kapowser settled the shot.
He's going for Marksman.
Settled the shot. One more shot. And down he goes.
Wow.
Well done.
Can't ignore. I don't know why he was. And now I see that it was a mistake.
Well, Palmia, that's why he's right there. So he's like, okay, Palmia, you get him. Oh, my screen just went black.
Oh, it's all right. Edbot is on the way to Marksman, but 14 seconds left in the battle. Marksman is trying to escape. He may be able to do it, but M-Pro and Edbot are the only hope right now to stop it. 6, 5, 4. Where is Marksman? 3, 2. Actually, there it is. Victory or draw.
Draw.
That's a
Don't
really
get
salvageable.
crazy on us. Don't
I'm
get
sorry.
crazy.
I feel like it's really great for Ride the Lightning being able to salvage that.
Yeah.
It's not an actual battle victory, but a minor victory right there.
Well, again, we look at the win conditions. It's a T-32 and a Pershing. Pershing can keep up.
It can keep up.
Keep up.
He can cut off the 1390.
Correct. He could have.
If he kept going.
But that's also the advantage of being the aggressor. I mean, if you are the aggressor in this format, you always have that ability to salvage. But if you're constantly defending, let me tell you, you are not going to have a good time because there's a lot of times where you just cannot run away. You're not in a position to.
Yeah. And because they had 75% map control, they were able to just run away, salvage that, and make it a draw. With that, we will head to, it looks like, battle number 5. We can tie this up and we can see a shootout possibly. Yeah, that's all that Ride the Lightning can hope for.
That's right. It's either shootout or they lose, so they're in a must-win situation right now. Guys, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, the continuation of the series. Don't go anywhere. You're watching WGLNA Season 3. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to WGLNA. We're in the middle of a series between 2 teams. It is Victoria's Secret versus Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning showing some impressive performances here, but they are behind. Victoria's Secret up 2 wins to 1 loss with 1 draw. So this is a must-win situation for Ride the Lightning. If they win here, we will go to a shootout. If they lose or draw, they lose the overall series. It's going to be on Cliffs. I think Cliff, probably the most decisive map that we have in our map pool.
Yeah, it's always a quick map. Every single time. I don't think we've even seen a draw ever on this.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, we haven't seen a single draw.
And it's because, in my opinion, there is a forced engagement that happens very early on. Normally, 1390s, 5100s, they to really end a fight, they need to have one big fight and then another big fight, and they have the chance on Cliff because it fights at like 9 minutes, and then we normally have another fight 7 minutes, maybe even another fight at 5 minutes. So we always have that decisive advantage. What do we have though for tanks?
It looks like we're going to have a Pershing, a T69, 3 1390s versus a 5100 Pershing, T69, and 2 1390s. Very odd, actually. I even see a Pershing with a Spall liner on there. I don't know what Wraith exactly is going for with that one.
It's because he knows the HE challenge is scary.
Oh man, that HE challenge. Fire all HE all day.
Drunken Warlord and his T69 Pershing are going to be heading up the center. Meanwhile, Kapowser and Diddles are going to go over to the west side to approach that hill. What do we have on the other side, the red side?
Just booking it straight to the middle. Edbot's trying to get there as quickly as tankingly possible. Behind him is 9, who is going to go a little bit out towards the flank. Drunken Warlord has found Edbot, and they Drunken misses the first shot as he goes for it backing off. Edbot holds his fire, and 9 will spot the T69 and Pershing on their way to the mid.
Also important to note that Marksman and Mortals all the way over on the west side are going to go to town on GLM. I know it's GLM now.
Yeah.
This is a 2v1. Very interesting way to use 2 T1 Cunninghams to try to, I guess, put cap pressure eventually. Wraithcast, though.
But MFX is starting to unload on this Pershing. Wraithcast is getting focused. MFX down to 901, but Wraith is at 583. Shots are getting traded everywhere right now. It's really hard to keep up. It's just everyone getting a little bit of a peppering back and forth. We've got 2 1390s in the east and a whole bunch of tanks right in the mid. First tank goes down as Wraithcast and the Pershing, as it looks like Kapausers and Diddles are trying to get shots. Every single member of Victoria's Secret is down.
This is where Kapausers and Diddles need to connect their shots. This is the easiest shots out of all the whole team, in my opinion. And it looks like they're not able to close anybody out. So Kapausers right now has motion that he is currently reloading. 1390s are mostly reloading, but we have Marksman 12 and Mortals going up into the flag. This is going to provide valuable valuable undermining in the center. Because right now, what does the red team do? Do they just turn around and shoot out that way? Or do they just try to go for the engagement and send one T8 back? Either way, not a good position to be in.
Yeah, just really not solid. Every single tank is so easy to focus down right now. They're all just waiting to die, it looks like. MFX is so easy. 407 hit points, and they're all pulling back very defensive. I love this T1 thing. I don't think from the south I've seen that aggressive T1 play ever.
It's so clever. Really is so clever. They see 9 pulling away and they say, okay guys, let's take the center control and let's prepare for this. We know what they can do. A Pershing and 5100 though are still left over here. Red base has started capping, and Disruption is going to show himself as Marksman 12 got eliminated, but I like the positioning so far. Now Drunken Warlord gonna push a little bit more forward. This T69 bouncing a lot of shots. Edbot, though, down to 111 hit points, and down he will go to Drunken Warlord in his 1390.
Some dude is left at 194. I was expecting to go down. Kapausers taking a hit out on the east. Another one from a 1390 in the north. And will there be? Yes! 9 in the 1390 does take down Kapausers. Tano Skywalker taking down Laser Pew Pew in his Pershing.
Incredible. Incredible play. Now it's just 2 1390s. I felt like the strategy definitely went in favor of Ride the Lightning. They played this so smart. I really like this. I think it's one of the most innovative ways we could have seen the T1s being used, and I think it's we're kind of due for this type of play too. Tano Skywalker and MFX are just going to peek over, takes some big shots, but Drunken Warlord, the last tier 8 alive, down to 250 hit points, 8 hit points, and guess what? Down he goes. So ladies and gentlemen, Victoria's Secret, a great defense, a staunch defense, and here we have it. They're moving on to the qualifiers again.
Wow, very surprised that worked out in the favor of Victoria's Secret. Sending the 1390 back to the north to get Crossfire on the 1390 to the west. It is. He actually was able to shut him down. That 1390, I thought he was going to be able to just continue to put out all sorts of damage. That was Kapausers, I think.
Yeah, well,
1390.
This is where I have a lot of trouble. Kapausers, if we look at him right now, 652 hit points. Look at that penetration rate, 3 for 12. That's not what you should be doing. That's you're not fulfilling your role if you're making 3 out of your 12 shots. If we look at the Pershing, Wraithcast did more than that. Think about how fast he went down. If Kapauser was able to put all of his shots out, it would have been a very, very different battle, because there would have been tier 8 tanks down, a 5100, a Pershing, a 1390 in the center of the map being crushed. But they just didn't do it. They weren't able to eliminate the firepower in the very beginning stages, and that's where they really blundered. They needed to have a good trade, and they didn't. They should have had a good trade. They had 2 1390s with a turret break, two additional crossfires, I would say, since they split up the 1390s, and they still weren't able to get it done.
You're
really
just
unfortunate.
positionally superior and not able to make your shots count.
Yep.
You can have all the position, but you have to actually hit. And it's proven here, Kapausers could have won this single-handedly. Putting out 12 shots, he could have taken down easily 2 whole tier 8s by himself, but he doesn't get to do that.
Because even look at Diddles. I mean, Diddles was the other AMX 1390. He put out 1,200 damage. That's what you need to do in your 1390. Even him, he put out only 7 shots as opposed to the 12, and he was able to connect more than Kapauzer's. So really unfortunate for Kapauzer's over here. It just wasn't his game overall. And I think they paid for sure.
And
So, guys, that was our second series of the night. Our third series will be Sympasaurus Rex versus Kung Fu. Now, we just saw Kung Fu and Sympasaurus Rex recently, not only in the last qualifiers, but now yesterday. But that being said, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, the continuation of qualifiers number 3. Number 2.